A few days ago, I asked you guys to give me some of your controversial opinions or hot takes about LEGO Star Wars, and you guys actually responded very well. There was a lot more comments than I thought there was going to be. I'm going to try to talk about as many as I can in this video, although I'm probably going to cap it off if the video gets longer than 10 minutes. So if I don't get to yours in this video, I apologize. And if you have any hot takes or controversial opinions you want me to talk about in the next video, make sure to leave them in the comments below. The first one comes from Bricks Engineered 7878. He says the 2019 Stormtrooper helmets are more accurate than the 2014 helmets. In parentheses, this one may be too controversial to discuss. Well, actually, no, it's not too controversial. I will gladly discuss it, and I'm just gonna have to kind of disagree with you on this. I know most people can agree that the 2014 Stormtroopers and sort of like the Rogue One Stormtroopers had pretty downsized helmets compared to actual Stormtroopers, and then in 2019, LEGO decided to make the dual molded Stormtrooper helmets, and then they just made them way too big. It's like they needed to go a step in the right direction, but instead they went 2 or 3 steps in the right direction and way overdid it. The main problem is that the front of the helmet is just too elongated. It goes too far down the torso, and it just looks kind of deformed and oversized. And also, if you look at it from the side, you can see that the front of the helmet, where it's supposed to go downwards over the chest, literally just goes in a 90-degree angle right over the top of the chest, versus the 2014 version where it just gradually slopes over the front of the chest. So really, they're both not completely accurate, but kind of in their own separate ways. But in my opinion, I think the 2014 version looks a little bit more accurate just because it's not so oversized and they got the shaping down perfectly. The next one comes from James Nerdman 85. He says the holes on the new Clone Trooper helmets don't look that bad, and there were actually a large number of people that were commenting this, so I guess his comment kind of accounts for all of them too. And I'm mostly gonna have to agree with this one. I think it doesn't look great, but it doesn't look as bad as people make it out to be, and it is great that we can now put accessories on Phase 2 Clone Trooper helmets. Although if you look at it on the side here, there is that circle part right under the actual helmet hole, and in universe, that circle part right there is sort of what the visors and helmet accessories on Clone Troopers connect to. So I do think that having the helmet hole right above that does look pretty weird, when technically the helmet hole should actually be right on that circle. So I think LEGO's best solution to make this more accurate would just be to remove that little circle part on the bottom right under the hole, and then kind of just extend the mold upwards to make it look like the hole is supposed to be that little circle part. So then it kind of wouldn't look like there's 2 circle parts stacked up right on top of each other, and I think that would just solve the whole problem for everybody. Shadowhawk24 Real says people need to stop whining about the printing on the new 212 helmet. And yeah, I'm just gonna have to flat out disagree with you on this one. I do think it looks pretty bad, and one thing that I feel like people don't really take into consideration is that in 2014, 8 years prior to the updated 212 Troopers, we got the first version of the Phase 2 212 Troopers, and they looked absolutely perfect. Like, we got the printing down on the helmet and the torso perfectly, and those were great minifigures. And then 8 years later, when you would expect LEGO to just have more modern and upgraded minifigures, they somehow made it worse. And the helmet molds are actually exactly the same as the ones back in 2014, although the only difference is the helmet holes. So really, why should the helmet holes be affecting the print on the top? That just doesn't really make sense to me. I think they should have just used the original 2014 helmets and just added the helmet holes if they wanted them that bad, or just straight up reuse the ones from 2014, because I think those look better anyways because of the orange arms. Herman's Son 642 says Clone Trooper minifigures are overrated. I would rather get new or better versions of Jedis rather than a new clone we saw for 3 frames in some random Clone Wars episode. And there are also quite a few people talking about how they think Clone Troopers are overrated. And I don't really want to say they're overrated. I know there is a lot of hype around them right now, but I do think that there is definitely an imbalance, especially with the battle packs. LEGO is starting to release only 2 or 3 battle packs a year now, and usually they're all Clone Trooper battle packs, especially how we just got the 501st battle pack back in January, and then we're getting in Ahsoka's Clone Trooper battle pack later this summer. I don't really mind there being so many Clone Trooper battle packs. I just think LEGO should release more than 2 or 3 battle packs a year. I think they should release at least 2 or 3 a wave, and then make the other ones Imperial or Droid battle packs or whatever, kind of like they used to do back in 2014 and 2015. And the part where he talks about getting better versions of Jedis, I would love for that to happen, and I think there is definitely a possibility, considering that we are getting the Coruscant gunship and then Yoda's Jedi Starfighter, so maybe that would prompt them to make more actual Clone Wars sets rather than just Clone Wars battle packs, if that makes sense. And then hopefully we can see some upgraded versions of Jedis like Kit Fisto, Plo Koon, Sassy 10, and so on. Continuing on the topic of Clone Troopers, the 9th Planet 768 says people who make clone armies are basic AF. And I'm kind of gonna have to agree and disagree with you on this one, because the point that clone army videos have gotten to today is very annoying in my opinion. It's just all this trendy thing where everyone copies each other, like building a LEGO clone army in 30 days, or building a clone army in 5 days, and the thumbnail would have like day 1, day 5, whatever, and everybody just copies it. I think that's also another problem in the LEGO Star Wars community on YouTube, is there is just so much copying and there's no uniqueness, and it's just really cringe in my opinion. I don't want to spread hate to any of these amazing creators. I just think some of the content is getting a little dry because there's so much copying. Although what clone armies used to be back in the early days of the community, when the biggest LEGO YouTubers at the time, like Solid Brick Studios, M&R Productions, or even Chris Productions, would all post their yearly clone army videos, and those were some of the biggest videos of the year for the community because everyone just looked forward to them and they were really cool to watch. And it was always cool to see who had the biggest army and how big their army grew from last year. And this was back in 2012, 2013, 2014, back in sort of the early days of the community. And actually, Solid Brick Studios 2013 clone army video is what really got me into the LEGO Star Wars community and kind of introduced me to all this stuff. So I actually really appreciate the old clone army videos, although today it has gotten into this trendy topic and trendy videos where everyone just copies each other, and I think it's a little boring. Steelforge-KQ4, yeah, I'm not gonna try to pronounce that, but he says the 2018 X-Wing and TIE Fighter are overrated and the 2021 versions are a lot better and more accurate. The 2018 models are overpriced and 2021 models are more affordable. People as well attend the 2018 TIE Fighter and X-Wing way too much than saying they're the best models of the ships, also because 2018 was probably the worst year of LEGO Star Wars. I do agree that 2018 was one of the worst years of LEGO Star Wars, and I'm actually probably going to make a video on that. But I do say there were a few good sets that year, and the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter are some of those good sets. I don't really think they're overrated at all. I think they get just as much attention and praise as they need to. Now you can't say the 2018 TIE Fighter was overpriced because it had 519 pieces and retailed for $70, making its price per piece 13.5 cents. And the 2021 TIE Fighter had 432 pieces retailing for $45 and has a price per piece of 10.4 cents. So really you are right about the 2018 TIE Fighter being a little bit overpriced compared to the 2021 version. Although if you take the price away, it really is just better in every single way. The build is just way more accurate, especially if you look at pictures of real TIE Fighters. You can see that it is very spacious and the actual cockpit is pretty small compared to the wings. Although the 2021 version is just way out of proportion. The wings are way too close to the cockpit and they're way too small. I mean, I remember when I saw the picture of this thing, I was just like, what the heck am I even looking at? Because I was genuinely so confused to why LEGO made a set this out of proportion. And also the 2018 TIE Fighter has better minifigures. I mean, they're all exclusive, and then you have that notable Min Bond Trooper, which looks awesome. And then the newer one just has one exclusive figure, being that protocol droid. So yeah, really besides the price, I mean, the 2018 version is just all around a lot better. And as for the X-Wing goes, I mean, the 2018 version is actually better in every way, as its price per piece was only 10.9 cents, with 731 pieces and a retail price of $80. And the 2021 version having 474 pieces and a retail price of $50, with a price per piece of 10.5 cents. It's only a 0.4 cents difference. That's really not a big deal. I think the 2018 X-Wing was definitely a bang for your buck and a great set. It has more detail, especially on the snout of the ship, and they got the shaping more accurate. The 2021 version has a lot of studs showing, and I think the nose looks a little out of proportion, and it just looks overall boxy. And it has one exclusive figure, being Admiral Dodonna, as the 2018 version has 3 exclusive figures. Also, the 2018 version comes with 2 pilots, being Biggs and Luke Skywalker. So really the 2018 version of the X-Wing is really better than the 2021 model as well. So yeah, I'm really just gonna have to disagree with you on this one. Andrew Ramiro 4560 says, LEGO investing is pointless because so many people think it's a viable second income. Well, it's not, and when many people do it, no one will buy sets after they leave store shelves, and no one is going to sell the leftover stock they have sitting in their basement. I think it is just an excuse people make when they want to buy more LEGO. Plus, LEGO should be enjoyed, and how can you enjoy it when it's sitting in a closet in the box collecting dust? Well, first of all, I do want to say that it is not pointless, and it can be a viable second income, and a lot of people do buy them once they leave the shelves, especially after they retire. I mean, when they're not on shelves anymore, there's really nowhere else to get them. I mean, if you look at Bricklink's sale catalogs, you can see there's literally thousands and thousands of sets selling every month, and then there's also thousands and thousands of minifigures selling every month, and people get the minifigures from buying the sets as an investment, and that's not even accounting for eBay and Amazon and all the other stuff people sell Legos on. So yes, the third-party market of LEGO is definitely very active, and when you talk about leftover stock sitting in a basement, I don't really know what you're referring to. You could be referring to sets people just have on display and have collected, and in that case they are enjoying them, which kind of contradicts your next point, because no matter if you build it and display it or whatever you do with it, you are enjoying it in some type of way. This could also mean you're just talking about bins of LEGO parts people have in their basement, and in that case those people aren't really active LEGO collectors. They just kind of have a bin of LEGO sets that they got for their kids or whatever, and that they don't play with anymore, and they kind of just threw in the basement. So those people don't really know the value of the sets they got. And also back to your point of people enjoying LEGO, I mean, one of the reasons it's become so popular and the third-party market has got so popular is just because people enjoy it so much. I mean, if you're an investor, buy one set and build it, and then buy 5 more of the same set to keep in your closet and as an investment or whatever. And then when you said people use it as an excuse to buy more LEGO, I also saw another comment saying this, that they hate LEGO investors because they just go to the store and buy everything on the shelf just to keep it in a closet or whatever. Well, first of all, again, you can't really criticize someone for keeping a set sealed in the closet because that's what an investment is. You wait over time until it gains value. And also the idea of Lego literally running out of sets that people can buy is a myth. I don't know if you guys know anything about the sneaker reselling business, but some people are really starting to act like the Lego community is kind of getting to that point. I mean, in that business, there'll only be 1,000 or 2,000 copies of a shoe available, and it will sell out instantly in stores and online. And then after that, it'll never be available for retail price again. And Lego is just not to that point at all. Just because your local Walmart sells out of a set does not mean there aren't other Walmarts around that have that set, and it definitely doesn't mean you can't get that set online. I mean, Lego's selling the set, Walmart and Target online are probably selling the set, and then not to mention whoever bought the set as an investment is selling the set as well. So really there is no way that we're gonna run out of Lego sets. I mean, if you want a set, it is available somewhere. So no, I don't think Lego investing is pointless, as the third-party market is very active, and yes, I do think it's definitely a viable second income. Anyways guys, that's gonna do it for this video. If you have a hot take or controversial opinion you want me to talk about in the next video, make sure to leave it in the comments below, and if you want to check out more of my videos, you can see them on the end screen right now.